New developments on the Russian matter, the drawn-out negotiations for an interview with the president. Special counsel Bob Mueller now willing to reduce the number of questions, but insisting he still wants to ask the president about obstruction. That brings us to today's headliner, Oklahoma Republican Senator James Lankford. Senator, welcome back, and thank you for being our headliner today. It's great to see you.
Glad to be with you again.
You hear a lot more than we do in Washington. What would you do with the president? Would you sit down with Mueller, or would you wait?
If I was his legal counsel, the legal counsel is obviously going to have to make that hard decision. But the president said over and over again he's willing to be able to sit down with Mueller and answer any questions. The president's been pretty clear. I've got nothing to hide here, and so we'll see how he handles his legal counsel and what happens from there.
What about the argument that, hey, on the president of the United States, you need to show evidence of a crime before you get the opportunity to sit down with me?
Yeah, that's the big fat constitutional question that they're going to get a chance to be able to work through the process on, to be able to see what can be done. Other presidents have sat down with other special counsels and be able to do this as they go through the process. I don't think it's unreasonable in the process, but if they're going to actually try to show evidence of a crime to be able to go forward, they've got to be able to do that. Right now, the special counsel is still trying to investigate a Russia investigation, which has been said over and over again by Jim Comey and multiple others before that. The president's not a target of that investigation, but trying to get all the facts around it. So we'll see. He's not being accused of a crime. They're trying to get the information out.
You know, Senator, critics of this investigation and even some who have supported it all along, support Robert Mueller, say it's time to wrap this up. It's dividing the country. It's distracting from bigger things to do. Where do you fall on that?
Yeah, I've said from the very beginning on this, I'm skeptical of a special counsel because of how long it can take. I go back to the Reagan special counsel that took 6 years. President Reagan was out of office and the special counsel was still working and going through all of its details. So this can drag on for a very long time. My advice to Robert Mueller is, if he's going to listen to me, he's independent, he can do his own thing, is to be able to do the research. It's best for the president. It's best for the presidency. If they get this wrapped up in due time, that it actually goes through the entire process, though, and completes, and then to be able to close the book. That's best for the American people as well.
Aren't you sick of hearing about Russia, Russia, Russia? I mean, it's like every day, all day.
I serve on the Intelligence Committee. I can assure you I get sick of hearing about it every single day. But there's lots of questions that come out about it. There are some people that see a Russian under every single rock, and they're always behind everything. You know, the Russians are not our friends, but there are issues.
To them, Putin wins that then, doesn't he?
Right.
Because we're just obsessing.
Yeah, Putin's main focus, and it has been for years, is to be able to stir controversy in our democracy. He uses every divisive issue he can get, and every 2 years, he's using elections. Elections are not his goal. Elections are one more piece of how he's trying to be able to stir Americans to be able to turn against each other. He uses race, he uses religion, he uses every divisive issue that comes out of the court, he uses elections. He's going to use every piece of that. So for some people that think that this is all about elections are missing the larger piece of what the Russians are trying to do. They're trying to stir us, and the more we're talking about this and the more we're fighting with each other about Russians, the better that they are.
Senator Lankford, there was a beautiful moment for this country last night when we welcomed back to what is believed to be the 55 servicemen and women from the Korean War. And the White House has just issued a statement a few moments ago via Sarah Sanders, the press secretary, saying this: a letter to President Trump from Chairman Kim was received on August 1st. That was yesterday. The ongoing correspondence between the two leaders is aimed at following up on their meeting in Singapore and advancing the commitments made in the U.S. DPRK joint statement. First of all, Vice President Mike Pence made it very clear that last night was follow-through on the part of Kim Jong-un following the summit in Singapore. What do you make of what you just heard from Sarah Sanders in the White House there, and what's next as far as progress with North Korea?
Yeah, and the president's made it even clear in statements that he's put out directly, saying that this is fulfillment of one of the things that they had asked for in the meetings. I think he characterized the letter coming from Kim Jong-un as a nice letter coming in, and he recognized that in a statement that he made on a tweet. So the president's recognizing a couple of things here. One is we've not forgotten the heroes from the Korean War. Our nation still remembers, and they're still trying to be able to work to bring those folks home. The second thing is this is one of the requests the president made in his meeting with Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-un is following through on that. Now, we have a long way to go to complete denuclearization, but we are having step-by-step progress that we've not seen in decades from a North Korean leader. So the president's been able to achieve something previous presidents have not. We'll continue to be able to press to be able to get to full achievement of denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula.
I know you were deeply involved in trying to bring this American pastor home from Turkey. The White House is well engaged on this. From yesterday's briefing, Sarah Sanders delivered the following statement: the possibility about sanctions on Istanbul and others. Watch.
The president has been closely following the ongoing situation in Turkey involving Pastor Andrew Brunson. We've seen no evidence that Pastor Brunson has done anything wrong, and we believe he is a victim of unfair and unjust detention by the government of Turkey. At the president's direction, the Department of Treasury is sanctioning Turkey's Minister of Justice and Minister of Interior, both of whom played leading roles in the arrest and detention of Pastor Brunson.
That is a direct message to Turkish leaders in Ankara. How will they respond, and what can you tell us about his fate today?
I would hope that they would respond by sending back Pastor Brunson. This is something I went to Turkey in December of 2016 and met with the Ministry of Justice office to be able to directly plead for his release at that point, now a year and a half ago. So it is right and appropriate for us to be able to put sanctions on them. The Turkish government all along has seemed to say that they're going to hold this pastor and they want to get something for him. What I have said over and over again, if the Turks want to be able to get something for Pastor Brunson, what they're going to get for him is sanctions, is what they're going to get. This is not how you treat an ally and a NATO partner, by holding an American hostage, hoping to be able to use them as leverage.
These are sanctions on two individuals, Senator. How far are we willing to go here?
Well, in the NDAA that just passed and is on the president's desk right now, there actually includes a study to be able to say, let's pull the F-35 out of Turkey and not allow Turkey to be able to take delivery of the F-35, not be able to do maintenance on the F-35 for NATO. And there's a study to say, what if we do that? And that's the next step. So for us, that's the next step in this process, to be able to continue to be able to isolate them.
Will Erdogan
because this
back
is not
down,
how you treat an ally.
Do you think Erdogan will back down?
I hope that Erdogan would do the right thing. They have said all along they're going to let their judicial system go through the process. They've moved him from a Turkish prison to now he's in house arrest. That's the first good sign that we've seen in a year and a half. The next big sign is for them to be able to say we deport him or we let him go and let him come back to the United States.
Good luck, Senator.
Senator Lankford, thank you.
Really appreciate your time. Thank you.